Welcome back to my channel. And as you're probably learning, this is a functional medicine focused channel. So I thought it'd be wise to talk about what the heck is functional medicine. So I'm going to give you just a little overview of what functional medicine is so you can figure out if it's right for you. So today we're going to talk about the 5 components of what is functional medicine. And I'm taking some of this from my beloved textbook that has spent so much time with me. You can see it's pretty thick. And it has kind of all of the components walking you through functional medicine. And so what it talks about in the beginning is some of the principles of functional medicine. And so one of those principles is being biochemically individual. That sets it apart from like regular conventional medicine. So biochemical individuality means that we all have different genes, we all have different physiology, we all have different environments, and all of those things change the way that we respond to interventions. You take the same medication and you put it in 5 different bodies, they're going to have 5 different reactions to it. We customize all of our recommendations by what information we can gather from the client or the patient. The second component is kind of in the same thread, which is being patient-centered and not disease-centered. So when you are patient-centered, you are taking into account their biochemical individuality, but also like the intangibles with the patient. Are you even ready to make change? You know, if you're in there for high cholesterol or blood sugar, well, are we gonna just focus first on medication, on supplements? You ready to change your diet? You ready to start exercising? Like, we need to give recommendations that meet you where you're at. Doesn't that make sense? But you don't really have time to do that in normal medicine. That's one of the reasons why functional medicine appointments are like 30, 50 minutes, 60 minutes long, so that we have time to really figure out who you are and what it is that you need. And we're not disease-centered, so when you come in, we're not going to treat the disease that you're trying to fix. What is all the individual stuff going on in this person that could be causing their migraines, and we treat those things. What have you been exposed to? What could you be deficient in? Where is the inflammation coming from? There is all kinds of different root causes behind someone's dysfunction. The third of the 5 is that it's holistic. We're also thinking about not just the physical stuff, the inflammation and nutrients and all that, but we're really thinking about their mental and their emotional health. If you've ever heard of the placebo effect, it is like one of my favorite things to study because it's so crazy. Like, you just cannot believe these studies. I was just talking to someone earlier today about how like there's a study about antibiotics showing how supportive and encouraging your doctor was when prescribing the antibiotic for a known infection determines the eradication rate. It determines how effective the antibiotic is because of like how you feel about taking the antibiotic. It's crazy. And so we have to realize like minds and emotions are really important, and they're just as important, if not more, than the physical stuff going on. And that's one of my favorite parts, is talking with people about their mindset, because I feel like that's just when you really transform. Fourth is being evidence-based. Sometimes people don't want to see holistic practitioners because they're like, oh, that's a little too far out there for me. Well, that's the cool thing about functional medicine, is that it brings those 2 worlds together. And so it's holistic, but it's also evidence-based. That's why you have something like this. And like all of the chapters, there is so many resources. Like, this is just one chapter, chapter 28. This is the references of like the different scientific studies. This page goes to 341. 426. 511 research studies in this random chapter that I just chose. And you know, I'm an inner nerd, so I really like all the science. And so that's one of the things I love about it, is that like it's not just, oh, you know, my friend or another doctor I know has had success with this, why don't you try it? We're looking at trials using hundreds or thousands of people. What result did they get? And then that's what we're going to use to help you. We're reading research studies all the time. We're always like evolving and changing what we do as new research comes out or as I discover it, because that's what I do on a Friday night. You can ask my husband. And I really want to look into how, this specific thing impacts the body in this way, and then I'm just doing research. So we are always evolving our own protocols and recommendations, and I feel like upgrading it as we understand more and more from science. The last one, so number 5, is root causes. So again, kind of related to some of the previous ones, we are looking for the deepest reason, the very first domino in the domino effect that led to the weight gain, the imbalanced hormones, the headaches, the allergies. There's usually something that went wrong that then impacted this thing, and then this thing, and then this thing, and then we see the symptom or the weight. And so we're not going to treat the symptom. We're going to go as far back as we can to figure out where did it all start, and let's work on that thing. Sometimes that is our mind and our emotions, or like our stress. Sometimes it's maybe taking antibiotics or having a gut infection like 15 years ago. Like that was the case for me. I discovered that I had SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. I was having all of this bloating. And then when I did the research to figure out the root causes, I realized when I had food poisoning in my freshman year of college and had bad gut symptoms for like 2 weeks afterwards, that was the beginning of my gut issues. So we're always trying to get to the deepest root causes and not provide a pill for an ill, even if it's a supplement. We don't really want to use just a supplement to try to address the root causes. We want to go to your lifestyle, your mindset, your history, and see why you've ended up the way that you have. So those are the 5 things that functional medicine is. I hope that was beneficial for you. If you're on the same page as I am, then you're really going to enjoy the rest of the videos on this channel.